What's going on, people? So, a few things have come to light here in the past, I don't know, week. I've seen different things about it, talking about trucking and overall call it livelihood of the country, really, and really the world for that matter. Fuel, diesel fuel in particular. This subject has come up. I've seen different things on it, and what I've gathered that America, United States, has a 25-day reserve of diesel fuel. What I've been able to find out about it is this is a rolling window of a 25-day reserve of diesel fuel we have going on. So when you see these things about people saying 25 days of diesel left and that's it, not necessarily what it's cracked up to be from everything I can gather. That we're in a rolling window. We have 25 days of reserve if production of or refining of fuels were to stop as of today. We have 25 days in the bank of fuel. So any reports you see and stuff, I see it getting sensationalized on news and stuff like that. Different places are, we got 25 days left of diesel. Oh my God. Not from what I can gather. So don't freak out just yet. But just like I mentioned a couple videos ago with the food plants burning all this year, that we're heading for 150 food production facilities just in the US that have burned down, are culled more or less, or put out to pasture. They're shut down. They're not producing the products that they have been in years past. General Mills, meat production plants, I think Smithfield was in the group. Other places have flat out halted production or even closed down because the supplies aren't coming in, supply chain problems, all these kind of things. Anyway, on the fuel issue and 25 days worth of diesel, it looks like if refining were to slow or halt in the United States of the production and refining of fuels, that's where the problem comes in. That if everything were to stop today, we got 25 days. Now, the window used to be much broader in the past, where it was like, a couple of months, 3 months in storage of fuels that we would need to keep our society going. So it's definitely gone down a lot. But as long as refining keeps happening right now, we're not going to run out of fuel, but I can see where it could be heavily stifled in the way that we could see fuel rationing. What does that mean for trucking? Not good. What does that mean for trains? Not good. You're talking all the trucks that need to run out there on diesel fuel and stuff. I mean, everything from over-the-road trucking in all facets of that, all the way down to fuel availability for even local trucks, garbage trucks, anything, that diesel pickups for contractors and all that kind of stuff, for oil field workers and all the stuff that rely heavily. They've got Super Duty pickups and all this kind of stuff that they rely on diesel fuel. So what would happen is, stockpiles of reserves of fuel might dry up. So, but we got a 25-day reserve on a rolling window, it looks like, and stuff like that. That's what I could gather from it. But now, other sources I've been checking into and everything too, of parts around the world are seeing increased, just like I bring up the food production places, just like refineries now over in Malaysia and the Philippines. There have been refinery fires, and these refineries are basically shut down. Do they export to the US? I don't know. But overall, for the world supply, and it's a trickle-down effect too, of course, and what it's going to mean for on-hand supply of what we need. Like I said, it's already shrunk down to this 25-day window. How much more does that taper down? And I don't know. But the owner of the company I contract with, we got a text message today too of any more loads we do on the road and everything, never run around with less than half a tank, because we're looking at less than 30 days of fuel supply that could become scarce. So always fuel up whenever you have a chance. Keep it topped off, because if you do get stuck out somewhere, at least you got fuel to try and get back home. That's if things really were to hit the fan and dry up like that. It seems to be getting more and more real. I mean, you could scream conspiracy theory all day long and all this kind of stuff, but just wanted to touch on that. Things I'm seeing here at home. I mean, we live in Texas. It doesn't seem like fuel is getting harsh here, although I was at times over this year. I have been out west, up in Washington, Oregon, stuff like that, California, and on the East Coast where they were rationing fuel already. So definitely things to think about if you are running around these parts of the country. It says the East Coast will get hit the worst. Of course, it has the biggest population density, and if supplies do dry up, where the most people and where's the most demand coming from is going to be the East Coast. Being out here in the Midwest, Texas may not hit as quick, but it could be a trickle-down effect. And I'm definitely looking at the entire scenario of this could get real here pretty soon, as this window has been shrinking of fuel availability in the stockpiles we have in reserve. It's gone from a few months down to less than a month. So it's shrinking. Whether it's by design or legitimate supply chain issues or whatever, we're the little people, we're the plebes, we're the ditch diggers. We may never know the true answer of it. But overall, do a little CYA, read up on it yourself a little bit, that fuel, diesel fuel, if you're driving truck or any application that needs to be put to, could become scarce. So plan ahead a little bit, keep your eyes open. If you see this happening around you, definitely make a B plan. And, you know, like I said, there's refinery fires happening. And I was watching some interesting videos on it too, that one guy brought up. He goes, so you're seeing these fires happen at refineries spontaneously, you know, around the world. What does that mean for us? Is it, you know, he brought up the fact this week, are you going to hear about the first refinery fire happened in America that shuts down a major refining depot of fuel that we depended on to be shipped out around the U.S. Who knows, maybe in the Gulf, you know, Louisiana or something like that, or over on the West Coast or something like that. All of a sudden, miraculously, you just hear about some refinery getting burnt down to the ground or has a fire, so now it's offline and it's not producing anything for long. What are you going to see happen? So, everybody's playing their damn video games, screaming. The new Call of Duty just came out last night, so everybody's jacked up on that right now. They're jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Ah!
So, keep it in mind, have your B plan. 8 minutes already for something that could have taken 30 seconds to explain, I know. But, like I said, even the owner of the company I contract with, they've already said, keep your tanks topped off. Don't take any chances. So he obviously talks to a lot more people than I do, and he's possibly operating on more information than I even got. And things to come, I don't know. We all going to get put in a spot of parking it and like, hey, ain't no fuel. Sorry, nobody's getting their stuff. I mean, how real is this going to get? And how, you know, you could scream as it's not actually happening on the day-to-day just yet. You could scream conspiracy theory, you're just trying to, you know, clickbait and whatever. It's like, no, there's something going on out here. It has been for the past 3 years. Most people have felt it. Most people know what I'm talking about. There's something else going on here. Cover your butt. Make sure you can get, at the very least, get home. You know, if you're thinking ahead a little bit, get a chance to fuel up, get DEF, whatever in your truck and all that kind of stuff. Plan ahead a little bit and keep topped off if you can. It's coming directly even from the owner of the company I work with. If you run with bigger mega carriers and all this kind of stuff, Landstar and Swift and whatever, you may hear this out of them too. Like, hey, definitely we're like watching this, you know. So be safe, plan ahead. Keep your eye on the ball, right?
Yeah.
You keeping your eye on the balls?
Yep.
Right?
Right?
So, Yeah, were you wanting to twerk for everybody? Is that what it
No.
is? So, anyway, yeah, plan ahead a little bit. Have your B plan set up. You don't want to get stranded, you know. So, we already saw it happen a few times this summer, especially on the East Coast, where drivers talking about they couldn't get diesel and stuff over the summer. So, we might be getting a little bit more. Might be getting a little bit more serious now. Keep it in mind. Have your backup plan. So, if you do start hearing news about refineries shutting down and all that kind of stuff too, just like the food production facilities and stuff, you know, it's like, it's real. It's happened. These fires have happened legit. I mean, you just got to go look them up. So, anyway, that's about it. So, be safe. Plan ahead. Cover your butt. Right?
Yep.
Right.
Keep your eye on the balls.
Keep your eye on the balls. Why do you think we've been together as long as we have? Just keeping an eye on the balls.
Cha.
When they look drained, just like the refineries are getting. Except that's on a good note. Keep your eye on the balls. All right. What do you say?
Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and keep it between the ditches, bitches.
All right, out.
Out.
With turquoise and real diamonds. Fuck!